And I remember I heard the final boarding, the boarding call for our flight, and the anxiety had come back, and I got up, called the performance staff member I was speaking to prior and said, I can't get on this plane. I'm sorry, I can't get on this plane. Please don't let this ruin my career. I'm sorry. Representing the Brisbane Blades is always an honour. I remember being a little kid and just dreaming of wanting to play for what at the time was the Scorchers. So last year was pretty tough for me. At the time, I wasn't too sure what was really going on. I just thought, I was a bit burnt out with sport and training and life, and that I just needed a little break, or I just needed to get over it, tough it out. I remember it was my first 21s tournament. I put a lot of pressure on myself. The anxiety that I had around that tournament with having to perform was so high, the highest it's ever been. And during that tournament, I didn't perform. It was probably one of the worst tournaments I've ever had. I think at the time, I just assumed that if I were to speak out about how I was feeling mentally, that I would be seen as weak and I would be seen as not resilient. A few weeks after the under-21s tournament, I was selected to go to an under-23s Australian tour, which was touring Europe. I remember, the week leading up to it, I felt like I was out of my body for that whole week. When I was driving to the airport, we pulled up and I completely broke down in the car. I just had this horrible feeling, the sadness and the anxiety had overcome me. And I remember I sat in the car and I just was I'm not getting out, I can't get out, I can't go to this tour. The anxiety was paralysing, and that's all I could think of. And I remember, wiping my tears away, meeting up with the girls and having to put this strong front on again that I was okay. And I remember I heard the final boarding, the boarding call for our flight, and the anxiety had come back, and I got up. I was obviously bawling in this airport, and I was apologising. And I turned around and I saw most of my team looking at me, all those girls, which I felt at the time I felt so embarrassed, which shouldn't have been the case at all. One of the girls come up and saw me, and she hugged me and she said that, it's okay that I feel this way, even if it, doesn't make sense, it's okay. And she said, you wouldn't be going to Europe if you tore your calf, so why would you be going to Europe if, you're struggling mentally? And I think, that was the perfect thing to hear in that moment, and it really validated how I was feeling and made me feel as though it was the right thing to do. Everybody I knew in the hockey community reached out to check on me. And every single message that I received was, I'm really proud of you and what you did was the right thing.